Hi everybody and welcome back to Shanghai, China once again as we get set. All eyes are on the vert ramp. BMX Vert Final. 10 competitors get ready to drop in. 10 athletes compete. They get 3 30-second runs each. The highest score will win. Hi everybody, I'm Paul Higgins along with Zach Yankush and welcome back to the pipe. It's a great time of day for this competition. Not too much wind. No glare on the ramp. This is a good look at the competitors. As you break it down, Ben Snowden will start us off. Vince Byron will finish it off. And he, of course, is defending champion. Zach, welcome back to Shanghai, China. These 10, you look at, there's a lot of different riders here. It's anyone's bet on who could win, but Vince Byron has to be the guy that's favored.
Absolutely. Vince is definitely looking to double up here. He has been working very, very hard in the offseason. He's got an entirely new bag of tricks. You can expect a lot of constant action out of this guy right here, Colton Satterfield, using that big rolling with that huge no-handed flare. That's how you start your runoff. Now these guys know what the judges are looking for, and they're going to want to keep every single wall with the trick.
Amazing. Ben Snowden started us off with a 77.33, but Satterfield, man, is he juicing up the competition already?
Colton's another guy, one of the new guns in the BMX professional world. He is just all action right now. That's the first blank air he's had. He's tricked almost every single wall. That's going to be time for Colton Satterfield. Great run for him.
Jorge Jovel will get ready to go in, but Satterfield will get a really good score. I'm sure it'll be in the high 80s, and this is a good look at Jorge Jovel. And of course, we watched him over the last several years. He's always seems to be in the mix of the top 10.
Yeah, Jorge's got an awesome story. Grew up riding in the Bronx, New York. Made the move to Woodward Camp, and his riding has literally gone through the roof in the last 5 years. Starting out with a big flare. Going opposite right there on that air.
Zach mentions you try to do a trick on every single wall. Want to land as high as you can on the transition so you get plenty of speed for the backside.
Nice flare right there to Jorge.
Jorge Jovel, and Satterfield actually got a score of 80.33. So that tells you where the judges are really scoring. It's pretty tight already.
Exactly, and that's something the other riders have to take into consideration. They want to see who has the highest score, think about what that rider did in their run to get that score, and hopefully imitate it or even better it.
Volanta will get ready to come in, so we've seen the scores increase as we get deeper into the field. Jovel with a 81.33. What do you like about Volanta?
Oh, he is just really exciting to watch. He knows how to boost the ramp, so he goes a little bit higher than most of the riders, but he's also one of those ambidextrous riders. We're going to be seeing a lot of guys going both directions. When we talk about both directions, there's a natural and there's an opposite, and going opposite is equivalent of a left-handed baseball player swinging right-handed. Very difficult. The judges certainly take that into consideration. Jan Valenta right here making quick work of run number 1. Looks like he's setting up for something. Nope, he's going to call it right there.
They get 30 seconds to crank out as much as they possibly can. This is the first 5, and then we'll have our second group of 5. Michael Laren from the United States of America getting ready to go in. Valanta, we'll see his score. He got an 84, so the scores are increasing as we do get deeper into the field.
This guy is something else. He is just amazing on a bike. Look at that one. That's a Grizz Air. I really like Michael's riding because he does all of his tricks proper. Everything is fully clicked, it's extended, it's the way it's supposed to look.
Michael, of course, off to a great start. Judges looking at how much you use the ramp as well.
Yeah, they like to see the entire ramp get used. You know, the guys that are utilizing the entire ramp using the channel are certainly going to have a higher score than the guys that don't take advantage of that.
Michael finishing off his run. So there's a look at the first runs in this first round of the BMX Vert Final. Best overall score, of course, will win. And we get ready now for Austin Coleman, 81.67.
It's interesting about Michael's run. Michael's the only rider that did not go upside down in his run. That might have something to do with the fact that he got that 81.57, but Austin Coleman on the ramp right now, he is exciting to watch as well. downside tail whip. He's so good at those. He also has amazing double downside tail whips. No-handed flare right there. There's a great look at a double downside tail whip. If he can stay on his bike, this might be the highest scored run thus far.
Wow, Coleman off to a great start on his first run. You're going to see all the riders get 3 runs each, and Coleman should have the highest score, reacting off of what Zach Yankush just said, and he knows this sport unlike anyone else. And we'll see what Coleman gets as we get ready for Zach Warden. So 10 riders in all in this vert final, an 84.67. So that is just the highest score of the day. The other score, Jan Valenta, you can see to your left, he has a score of 84. Zach Warden, another great rider.
Zach Warden coming off a gold medal at the X Games in Barcelona a few weeks ago in the mega ramp. Zach's got some really original tricks too. I don't know if we're gonna see it in the first run, but I bet he throws out a couple in maybe his second or third run. Taking it upside down flare.
Zach, we hear the brakes every now and then squeaking, or do we hear the brakes?
Nope,
because sometimes some of these guys do not have brakes on their bike.
You're absolutely right, Zach. That's what that noise is. A little bit humid out here. The humidity mixed with the rubber on the brake pad makes that squeaky noise.
Dennis McCoy, I call him, and he's been called this for years, and he's still riding, but he's been called the grandfather of this sport for a long time, and he's still out there
Absolutely.
busting it.
I had pictures of Dennis on the wall back in the 80s when I started riding as a 11-year-old kid, and it's awesome to see him still out there, and it's a testament to what's possible on a BMX bike. You know, he's well into his 40s, and he's still actively competing and doing awesome, as we see right here. McCoy into the big U ramp.
They call him DMC, the real McCoy. Dennis McCoy at one time was a 10-year overall champion in this sport. As Zach said, he grew up with pictures of Dennis on the wall, and now Zach gets an opportunity to commentate on DMC, and he's using the entire ramp. He still has all his big tricks.
Dennis knows what it takes to win a contest. If anybody on that ramp knows, it's Dennis. Wow, that was a 540 bar spin. Spinning the bicycle 540 degrees, and in the middle of it, throwing the bars 360 degrees. Wow.
Good old DMC.
Great run for Dennis.
You know, he's probably done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows, including the competition.
Exactly.
You know?
He is a finely tuned, well-oiled machine.
And Dennis McCoy gets an 86 to lead the entire competition right now. Vince Byron, our defending champion. Oh, I'm sorry, here we're gonna go to Simon Tabron. Simon Tabron is dropping in.
The Englishman. Simon's another guy that's been in it for well over 20 years. Check the height.
Clearly over the coping by 10 feet plus.
Huge 540 tabletop right there. Alley-oop 540, wow. Love watching Simon ride. Makes it look so easy.
You mentioned it. He's got some smooth element to him when he's on the ramp. It's almost, you can barely even hear him riding.
Exactly. Simon was one of the first vert riders to actually go brakeless, and as you see, he's still going brakeless. He doesn't need to stop. He just wants to go as fast as possible.
As we wait for Simon Tabron's score, the defending champion from Shanghai in this event, Vince Byron, getting ready to go in. And there's a good look at Vince. Could very well win the competition, 88.67 for Simon Tabron as he moves into the lead spot. Dennis McCoy in second right now. But Vince Byron could change all that.
Here comes Australia's Vince Byron. Get ready for some entertaining BMX out of this guy.
And why is he so good?
You know what? He is one of the new school vert riders. He has just set his mind on a goal. He said he wants to be the best in BMX vert, and he is absolutely on his way. Little bobble right there.
Yeah, almost landed way on the flat bottom. We'll see if the judges take some points away for that or not. He's got so many big tricks, he can make up for it real quickly. Vince Byron finishing up.
540 tail whip. He might be the only guy out there doing that trick.
Simon Tabron had the leading score, 88.67. So Ben Snowden comes back in. His first run was a 77.33. So we just got word that Vince Byron got an 86.67. So Simon Tabron still leads, but Vince Byron is in second, followed by Dennis McCoy. And this is a good look at Ben Snowden, who Zach mentioned earlier, got a 77.33, and he's off to a good start in this run.
Ben showing you a good example of ambidextrous riding. He naturally carves from the right to the left, but in both of his runs so far, he has done opposite airs. The judges certainly take that into consideration, hopefully helping his score out a little bit.
Colton Satterfield will be our next rider with an 80.33. Again, you're looking at 10 of the best riders here in Shanghai in the BMX Vert. Huge flare.
Yeah, Colton. Colton, the only rider using that big roll-in. Double tail whip.
So Ben Snowden gets slightly a better score with a 77.67. Colton has an 80.33. He's got 30 seconds inside the pipe. 30 seconds is not a long time.
No, it really isn't. It might seem long when you're out there, but you know what? It really isn't. Whoa! Colton going for a flare tail whip. The crowd showing its appreciation.
Comes up a little bit ginger on that right side. Gingerly comes up, nowhere, does not wear the elbow pads, but of course they are well-oiled professionals. So if you're doing this at home, make sure you wear a helmet, you wear all your pads. I know the man to my right, Zach Yankush, the last time I saw him, I had to kind of like work your hand out.
Yeah,
your hand was
really
so messed up.
You really helped me when I was here. You were like my own personal physical therapist.
And then I saw Ezekiel give you a
crack in my back,
crack in your back and your neck.
I think I'm just getting old. I think that's what it is.
Might be too many plane rides.
That's probably what it is too.
Colton Satterfield got an 80.33. That's his highest score. Jovel on the ramp right now, Jorge Jovel.
Yeah, 540 right into a flare. Jorge's first run was an 81.33. I think he's gonna better that a little bit.
The last score he had was an 81.67. We'll see if he gets a better score than that as we get set for Austin Coleman, 29 years old, out of USA. 81.33 was the last score for Michael. So he doesn't get a higher score, but Coleman goes high.
Coleman blasts. He rides a lot with Ben Snowden. Ben's got an incredible ramp complex in his backyard back in Los Angeles. These guys ride together all the time.
Austin Coleman inside the pipe.
Yes, double downside tail whip. Beautifully executed. Not too many guys doing that trick on vert.
Finishes up very strong for Austin Coleman. That 84.67, he hopes to do better than that. So Dennis McCoy had a score of 86 on his first run. Zach Warden with an 82.33 as the scores continue to come in. The leaderboard constantly changing.
Real McCoy dropping on in. Dennis is one of the guys that has every trick in his repertoire. 540s, tail whips, 900s, he can do anything. It's just a matter of sitting back and watching the Dennis show.
I first interviewed Dennis back in 1994 on a trip to Oklahoma at Matt Hoffman's old skate park, or riding park today. I would say skate park, but BMX. Oh, huge 900!
Wow. Oh my goodness, we talked about it. Dennis McCoy throwing down a 900. Well into his 40s, he's still got it.
Amazing. Dennis McCoy's score will become better than that 86. How about it? That was just amazing. Dennis McCoy throwing down a 900, and they see the leaderboard. They know where they are right there on that monitor. Dennis McCoy, a huge 900. Simon Tabron, 87.33 for Dennis.
I will say this, there are two guys on that ramp that have 900s dialed. And Dennis McCoy is the first, and this man is the second. And it's going to be very interesting to see what Simon does here after watching Dennis's run.
Simon just pumping up for something big right now.
Big 540.
Man, his back wheel hit the top of the ramp, and that could have been disastrous for him.
Absolutely. We call that casing. Casing is when your back tire catches, and like you said, if he would have leaned a little bit forward, that could have been very disastrous. When you case, you have to put all your weight back so you don't flip over the handlebars. And Simon did just that. Thankfully, he got out of that one okay.
That's amazing. He held on. Just shows you the strength of these riders. Vince Byron, his best run so far was his first run, his only run, 86.67. Simon Tabron in the lead, Dennis McCoy in second. Vince Byron, though, as we mentioned in his first run, could change up that leaderboard right here in this 30 seconds.
Vince wants to get a solid run under his belt. First run, he had some bobbles. He wants a good run. Let's see what Vince has got. Nice double tail whip. Whoa! Look back, right into a flare whip. Oh my goodness, that was beautiful. This could be the run right here, Paul. 540 whip. Wow. Looking incredible right now. The young man from Australia, opposite flare.
Spectacular run and a bad crash at the end. He was trying to hold on. The buzzer went off. The 30 seconds went off. It'd be interesting to see if the judges, how they score that. Vince Byron, the defending champion. So we've seen the 10 riders, they've gone twice. They will get one more run. everybody, and welcome back to the Kia World Extreme Games. We have an updated leaderboard for you, and Vince Byron, our defending champion, with a 90.67 in his last run. And that makes Simon Tabron in second, and the 46-year-old Dennis McCoy, who just whipped out a 900, currently in the third spot. Hi, everybody, I'm Paul Higgins, along with my friend Zach Yankush, back on the vert ramp. And we welcome you back for a final look at our 10 riders as they have one run left. 30 seconds in each run. Boy, I'm nervous just taking a look at this right now.
This is going to be a great third run out of these guys. Ben Snowden starting things off from California. Always a familiar face out here in Shanghai. He is full-time BMX rider, part-time DJ. He's actually spinning some clubs while he's out here in Shanghai.
I'm sure he is. 77.33 was his first run. He bettered that just by 77.67 in his second run. Here, his third and final run in Shanghai this year. Unless we see him on the mini mega ramp.
Yeah, we might see him. I didn't see his name on the list, but he might be right.
You never know, right? So Snowden will sit back and enjoy as he takes off his helmet, and he will put on his headphones and his spinning capabilities. Jan Valente getting ready to come in. He has a score of 84 even, 77.33 for Jovel. He'll hold on to that 81.67 as the intensity is starting to build as we get in to the last 6 riders. Valente, huge.
Flare turn down. Bar spin to bar spin. That's these combinations that the judges like to see. Packing as much action into your run as possible. That's a flare bar spin.
That almost, can you somebody do an opposite like that, a flare bar spin?
Yep, and that's the crazy aspect of BMX these days. It's getting so technical. As an announcer, sometimes it's so hard to even call it because guys are doing opposite tricks, and their opposite tricks look as good as regular tricks.
Michael Laren, he had an 81.67 and an 81.33 his last run. And so here he comes in, 25 years old. Can you imagine that? You look at Dennis McCoy, who is 21 years older than this guy.
That's insane.
This is Mikel Laren. He is 1 year older than the youngest athlete, which is Zach Warden at 24. No, I'm sorry, Vince Byron's 23.
Yep. Mikel Laren looks like he might be setting up for something here. Big look back there. Is a good look at a flare again. Downside tail whip. Very consistent rider Mikel Laren is. You can expect a lot more out of this guy in the next couple of years. He's going to find his niche, and we will expect big things out of Mikel Laren.
Zach Warden, great camaraderie with these riders. So here we go. We've got now 4 riders left, including Zach Warden, Dennis McCoy, Simon Tabron, and our defending champion from Shanghai, China, Vince Byron. And earlier on, Zach was talking about Zach Warden possibly doing a bike flip. We'll see if that is uncorked here or not.
Zach is really focused on the mega ramp, but he certainly,
oh man, how did he get his hands?
There you go, right there. Every BMX rider in this stadium grabbed their jaw. We didn't think he was going to come out of that. And then he followed that up with a big ka-ching. You see the smile on his face. For our friends at home, Zach missed the handlebars right there, and that could have been very, very bad. I'm talking he was less than 1 second away from going to the hospital.
That's amazing. So here we go. Simon Tabron be the only one that could get a better score than our defending champion, Vince Byron. So here we go, Simon Tabron. And if you're wondering how old he is, he's 39 years old. Pretty amazing. These guys well into their 30s and into their 40s riding a bicycle.
And the other thing about it is that, you know, they're in their 40s, but they don't look it at all. No. You know, BMX keeps these guys young.
Huge air, no hand at 540. Simon Tabron clearing the ramp.
Wow, there's another great look at an alley-oop. 540 while he's spinning backwards. Great run for Simon right here.
Yeah!
Simon Tabron finishing it up. Dennis McCoy with an 87.33. Right now, McCoy has the bronze medal. And Simon Tabron with a 88.67. And Vince Byron will once again win gold in Shanghai. Wow.
Congrats to Vince. And what's crazy about Vince is that score, that 90.67, he crashed at the end of it. That's a testament to how much he put into that run. He crashed at the end, and he's still leading. So this is his victory lap. Is he going to chill, or is he going to go nuts for us? Let's see what the young Aussie and your champion here at the Kia World Extreme Games.
Huge!
Whoa! Big flare whip! He is going to go full throttle with it. Are we going to get the Superman seat grab 540? That's what I want to know. He's the only rider in the world doing that trick.
And with the contest schedule in full motion, maybe he just lays out right now.
I think that's what he's going to do right there. Just a little ice pick grind, and he is going to call it. Great run for the Australian Vince Byron.
Vince Byron went into that run with a 90.67. That was good enough to win gold. Simon Tabron was silver at 88.67. And DMC 87.33. Dennis McCoy winning the bronze. And how about that? Instant moment here at the Kia World Extreme Games.